Well, I'm live. We'll see how long it takes you to get on the show, but you're gonna have to set up your laptop, right? Sorry, anybody who's here at the beginning. We're having slight technical difficulties over here, but the show is going on as normal. Welcome to Super Serial Showtime. As always, I'm your host, The Metal, and Marsupial Gamer will be here very first shortly. He's literally right there. He's just computer trouble. So while you wait, please go share us out with other people. Get more people in here. We'll have a good time. And if at any point you enjoy the show, you can always give a donation to streamlabs.com/vomitorium live. Really helps us out. And we'll be talking about all the good stuff. Maybe some movie things, maybe some TV shows, anime, comics, whatever comes up. I've got a few things planned, but I don't know ever what Marsupial has planned or what the chat might throw at me. So, that's the normal schedule. No, I can hear you. I'm sure they can hear you coughing. That's probably loud enough to pass my noise gate. Even with how far away you are. Super sweaty showtime. Yeah, probably. Oh, God, I hate that. I hate it. It's like, no, I know you can't hear Marsupial at all. He's not in the call. But if you do hear a loud cough, that's him. That's probably the only thing at his distance that can pass my noise gate. I have my microphone very, very sensitive so that for the most part, you can't hear echoes of us when we're sitting fairly close to each other. I think, you're like 5 feet away from me? I could like lay down and touch you from where I'm sitting. So that would be very uncomfortable and probably dirty. Like, I'd probably get dust all over my back. I don't think I'd want to do that. But yeah. I guess, because he can hear me just fine. Some of the stuff on our itinerary, we watched Squid Game Season 2, so we'll probably... Oh, I hear something.
There we go. I'm here. Just eating.
I might have to talk at this volume. I just have to be slightly mindful that your AirPods or whatever are just a bit more sensitive than your normal microphone. But I think this is perfectly fine.
Oh, are they picking you up?
They were when you first popped in. If I go too loud, they'll pick me up. But I think this is fine. I think this is perfectly fine.
All right.
I might have to lower you a little bit just so you're not completely overpowering me. Let me...
Oh.
There we go. I think we're fine.
I can turn stuff down if I need to.
No. I can control it all on my end. It's easier to control on my end because I can see what the balances are.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I can try to do... Yeah. There's limited gain control over here, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyhow, so we're probably going to talk about Squid Game Season 2 at least a little bit because we did watch it. I'm not super interested in Squid Game, but I am the type of person that if you leave something on the TV, I am probably going to meander over and start watching it. So we did watch the whole thing. Marvel also kind of announced like everything that's going to be in their roster for the year. All of it sounds awful, so we'll probably go make fun of that for a little bit. Netflix announced what its #1 movie was for last month, near the end of the year, and you probably already know what it is because you've seen it.
Yeah, I bet. Mm-hmm. Bet I know.
And yeah, whatever else comes to our mind on top of that. So yeah, thank you guys for showing up. You'll have a good show. So what do you want to start with from that list?
Well, can you say something again?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay, just making sure I was muted. Right, I brought up the YouTube video, but I
Okay.
want to make sure I muted the correct thing. Um, I'm going to say, if you want to talk about the top movie of last month,
Okay.
real briefly, I mean, that'll be a pretty quick one. I'm guessing that it is Carry On.
Yes, it was Carry On.
On.
Not even just last month. It was like probably like the top movie of the year on Netflix.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive. Yeah, it was. What's funny is Ryan George did a pitch meeting, which I love. I'm always waiting for him to do a pitch meeting of new stuff. And at the end, he was talking about how basically that it was reminiscent enough of. It was very reminiscent of Die Hard, and predicted that it would do great, and then at the end, it flashes to a headline. It's like, just Carry On is like the biggest movie of Netflix, of the year or something like that. Sure enough.
Yeah. Now, it's not the biggest title on Netflix. It's just the biggest movie. Squid Game Season 2 is still beating it by a large margin.
But did that come out in December or?
Yes, it came out like December 26th.
Oh, okay. How come? Oh, this is weird.
We were just a little late to it. I mean, because remember, you kept asking for well over a week. It's like, hey, you want to watch Squid Game 2? You want to watch Squid Game 2? And it wasn't until you asked, like, do you mind if I watch this without you? And it was like, yeah, I don't care at all. And then we watched the whole thing together.
Yeah. If it feels up, can you hear me now? I mean, I want to make sure. Am I muted?
If he can't hear you, then that's his problem, because I can see the green light going through that you're not muted. Okay.
All right. Hopefully. I mean, it's, I'm not using the microphone in front of me. I'm using the one on my ears. So, I think we've already talked about it a little bit. I'm going to be crackly. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Then, I don't want to spoil it because I would recommend you watch it. It is quite good. I mean, it's a bit of a turn your brain off and don't think too much about the I guess, plot holes / oddities that aren't unrealistic aspects, and just enjoy it because it's a good, cute little action flick. It's sort of reminiscent of Die Hard. It doesn't take place during Christmas like Die Hard, or I guess. Well, the original Die Hard was like Christmas Eve, right?
Yes, it was a Christmas party.
Yeah. It's more like the second one, actually, because the second one took place in an airport, and it was also Christmas Eve, and involved terrorists, and Although this one ended up being a lot fewer terrorists than I was expecting. But I do like, what's that guy's name? Jason Bateman. Yeah, at the tip of my tongue. He was pretty good as an evil guy. Pretty good. But there is something more interesting on Netflix that we did watch.
Yeah. If you say so, we could start talking about that. Like I said, I haven't seen it, so there's not too much we can talk about. Carry On, as you said just before. So, but I did, in fact, watch Squid Game with you. Yeah,
and correct me if I'm wrong, but I felt you said you liked it better than season 1, right?
I did. Mostly because since I read a lot of Asian stories, the whole a bunch of people competing in death games for money really isn't that original of a concept. Even them being like children's games isn't even that original of a concept. So, not to give any flack to the original, the first season, it just didn't hold my attention as well as some other things did. It was still good. It was still well written, well acted. This one, though, because there were some twists on it, they did some like setup where it's like, hey, I'm trying to take down the organization, and there was even that kind of like, oh, we're not going through everything. There was the change at the end. I did find it more compelling, but it also requires the first season to
Hmm.
be as compelling as it is. So, if anything, I think retroactively it makes the first season even better to me just because it's necessary for season two.
Yeah. Now, who is that actor? Because he's featured a lot more in this season than he was in the last one. The number one actor is he? He's been in other stuff, right? Or has he?
Probably.
Or am I just recognizing him from season one?
Maybe because he was the either step or half brother of the cop that is
Right.
trying to solve this problem. Um, I also saw an interesting thing in there, not where because I don't remember the first season that well, so I wouldn't be able to pick up like little
Hmm.
nuances of like lines that people said in the first season and references to it. I saw something on my feed where somebody was showing that the number one in the first Squid Game made a passing joke to 456 that you're just like my son. He can't drink milk either. And then the number one in this one, when he was giving his food to the pregnant lady, is like, that's okay. I can't drink milk anyway. And it might actually be the case that the number one in this one was actually the son of the number one in the last one.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Could be. But then is the cop? Are they half brothers
I don't
or?
know if they're half or step. I don't.
Hmm,
Yeah.
interesting. So the I guess the actor is Lee Byung Hun? Is that his actual name? Or
I don't know. I don't have the cast list in front of me.
yeah, yeah, that looks right. That looks right. It's hard to. Yeah, yeah. They call him the front man,
Mhm.
Lee Byung Hun. But I'm just curious to know what else he's been in because I seriously looks very familiar. Okay, okay. He was Snake Eyes in GI Joe: The Rise of Cobra. Or no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
he wasn't Snake Eyes. He was the other guy. He was the white ninja.
Oh,
Uh,
see, I wouldn't even be able to tell you because
Storm Shadow.
I don't remember this movie at all. I'm sure I've
Well,
seen it.
did you ever watch GI Joe? You're never into GI Joe?
I know we've talked about this several times. I was never really into
Oh.
GI Joe.
Oh, okay. Well, he played Storm Shadow,
Yeah,
the evil ninja who's sort of Snake Eyes rival.
yeah. Like I watched the live action GI Joe movies when they came out, but unlike a lot of
Hmm.
people watching them, I had no attachment to any of the characters going into the movie, so they're just like typical
Yeah.
kind of okay action romps to me.
Hmm. Yeah. That's why he looks so familiar. I think I've seen that movie a couple of times, and yep, he does actually have a quite familiar, I don't know, unique look, I guess.
Distinct features.
Distinct features, yeah.
Well, some of his
But
distinct features was I had recognized that one of the main actors in Sweet Home was actually in this season. It was the guy whose like daughter had blood cancer, and he started competing in the games to try to like cure it. The artist at the amusement park, and like I recognized him right away. He's been becoming a bigger actor in South Korea. I think slightly before Sweet Home, but that was one of the ones that really helped him get bigger. And I mentioned this while we were watching it. It's always a little disorienting watching localized versions of things to the point that sometimes I think I do prefer just reading subtitles because you'll see somebody in a live action series. It's not as much of a problem in like say an animated series where it's like I'd recognize you from here. This is the same real person, but because I'm watching it localized, a different voice is coming out of your mouth than last time. I almost wish like some type of contractual thing. It's like, yeah, we just hired this person at the studio, and this is always the person that always dubs this guy, so it's consistent across. But that's like
yeah.
never the case.
Well, so Do you remember which guy? I guess it's hard to say what you remember his name or who
I don't remember
what
the
actor?
character's name. If I pulled up the thing, I could tell you which actor I'm talking about, though. Actually, I could find him from Sweet Home.
I couldn't remember which one. I know you said that, and I wasn't sure who you were referring to. So, but it's funny is like the main character, Lee, sorry, Seong Gi Hun,
Mm-hmm.
um, looks very different in this one. And I realize it's been 3 years apparently since they filmed the first one, but um, yeah, he doesn't look nearly as goofy. Very serious. He's gonna take down the bad guys or whatever.
I think this is the same guy because he was also in Squid Game on his IMDb, and his face looks right. Um,
Oh, what's his name?
the actor's name is Lee Jin Wook, and
Okay.
in Squid Game he played Jung Suk.
Okay. I can't find him.
Yeah, he was in 6 episodes in season 2, so this is the guy. He also played Pyeon Sang Wook in Sweet Home. He was kind of like, if you remember in the first season of Sweet Home, he was the kind of like bad guy that everybody like painted as a bad guy, and really he was like hunting down this sexual abuser slash murderer that like killed his daughter, and that's why he was in the
Oh yeah.
yeah. And then he like actually dies saving somebody else at the end of the first season, but then the actual bad guy like takes his body, and then so the actor's still in the show for the rest of the series. It's just he's possessed by the bad guy that's trying to kill the main dude.
Okay.
Yeah. It's that same guy who has a prominent role as an actor throughout the whole series. Actually, kind of almost in the same way that like John Locke has a role in Lost throughout the series.
Yeah.
Right?
Even after he dies.
Yeah, even after he dies, he's still there. It's kind of like that type of situation, and he's becoming a bigger actor just between that role and a couple other ones. So I'm not surprised to see him in a show like this.
Yeah. Man, his main picture on IMDb is terrible.
Yeah.
What was up with his hair? Alrighty.
Yeah.
I don't remember who he was in Squid Game though.
Yeah, they said he was a father who worked as an artist at the carnival, the fair that the other lady worked at, and his daughter was the one that was walking around and she had like blood cancer, which is why he ended up in the games.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't make that connection at first because like one of the character, one of the people with the giant heads, one of the mascot people ended up being one of the people working for the organization, right? She was one of the snipers. Yeah. I thought that was the only connection to that scene. I didn't realize that the father of that little girl was actually in there too.
Yeah, that's
interesting.
She was like focusing on him a few different times.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. See, I'm gonna have to watch it again because I was like, why is she looking so hard at that guy? Like, what? I don't get it.
The same guy from before.
Yeah. Okay. But she's like brutal. Like, I mean, she's pretty much following orders when they tell her to kill everyone. She's making sure they're dead.
Yeah.
Whereas some people have some sort of side gig going on here.
Yeah, this was kind of a thing in the first season, but it wasn't really explored. That somebody from the higher ups is doing some like organ harvesting, and
are you sure that's what it is?
Well, we're not quite sure, but it looks like something akin to like maybe they're harvesting organs or whatever. But they're saving the not so dead bodies, and they're for money purposes. It's some type of human trafficking. They might be recovering them and trafficking them out for a different reason. They might be harvesting their organs. We don't know, but it's some type of trafficking thing going on that not like everyone agrees with. It kind of goes against the principle of the games, but it's money, so of course it's happening.
Yeah, because they really didn't get into the PlayStation button people in the first season. They were just anonymous henchmen. And in this one, they show a little bit more behind the scenes, taking off their masks and talking, having arguments, and which makes sense because there's a lot more, I guess I'll call it, interaction directly between the players and the pink PlayStation button people.
Yeah.
Near the end of the... I assume this was just the first half of the second season. Is that accurate, or is this the second season?
I think this is the whole second season. They said there's going to be 3 seasons total, which is probably why they're leaving this one on a cliffhanger. Actually, I have an article up where one of the Squid Game stars, I don't recognize most of them by name, so let me see if this is like the main guy or not. Lee Jung-jae. Yeah, that's the main guy. He said that it was brutal leaving it on a cliffhanger like that, and it would make the audience angry and curse the ending. Like, how could you end a season at that point? So like, I'm sure the director probably has something, like the showrunner, an idea of what they're doing. But like even when your star is complaining, you're like that's a horrible place to end a season.
Yeah. Well, and I would only ever even be remotely okay with doing that if it's like, okay, we 100% guaranteed have season 3 already greenlit and practically, either in filming or in the can.
Season 3 was confirmed before 2 even came out.
Yeah.
Because it's such a massively successful show, so like, it's not like they had to worry about that.
Well, and apparently, actually, now that I'm looking for it, season 3 comes in June this year.
Yeah, so apparently Netflix, they weren't supposed to tell you when it was coming out, but Netflix may have accidentally leaked the when season 3 is releasing.
That's a great question. And I just searched for Squid Game season 3, and one of the little AI questions that popped up was, who played the hot girl in the Squid Game? It was apparently... I don't know which is the hot girl.
The hot girl is clearly the one that the Thanos was trying to get with, right? The girl who got stabbed by the junkie.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, if you want to know the answer, it's Hoyun Jung played the hot girl. And she is 30 years old, actually. Also, Google, when you Google Squid Game Season 3, at least in Chrome, a little game appears at the bottom of the screen, a little card. And if you click on it, it looks like there's a red light, green light game that comes up on the screen. But it's very loud.
Well, then I'm not going to click on it. Since, any audio that comes through my system ends up going to everyone watching, so.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's red light, green light, but if you get caught, the character just walks away. They don't get shot in the head.
I guess Google couldn't condone guns in their red light, green light.
I guess not. But yeah, I agreed that it was better in season 1, because it's kind of like, okay, been there, done that, we got to do something different now. I'm curious to see if they're going to do the final, however many, 2 or 3 games, but I mean, I assume they will, because it kind of seemed like maybe it was going to get stopped, but I'm going to guess that they're going to force everyone back in. I don't know what's going to happen. Let's see. But it's a bit more of a dynamic story. Just things not going quite as expected or as smoothly as season one.
Yeah.
In terms of going the way the games are supposed to go.
Yeah, well, it's even like what Fizchozo was saying is why I liked Season 2 more. It's like the problem with Squid Game is I've seen the premise too many times. And I think one of the reasons why it's so popular is probably some of the setting, because there is a lot of the audience who just feels like they're stuck in some weird, stupid, like, late-stage society where everyone's in debt or whatever. It's probably appealing to a lot of people in that regard. But I think more so than anything is that a lot of them just aren't familiar with the other stories that have done this, so it's like a novel idea to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Flip. It says the day of the rake is nigh. But like a good example is there's a seinen called Kaiji, right? Like a manga slash anime. I think there's an anime adaptation of it. And Kaiji is about like a gambler who's in debt who ends up, and there's like death games and stuff involved in that too. It's not exactly the same, but like you see this premise time and time again if you read a lot of like Eastern stories. It's just a lot of them haven't had live action adaptations, or they haven't made it to the West, or they haven't been on like a program like Netflix where it's easily accessible. So it's like, of course, like Squid Game is going to blow up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like you said, this season is a little bit kind of turning it on its head, or a little bit different.
Yeah.
So makes it more interesting. If you are familiar with this sort of trope, this one kind of puts a twist in it that makes it pretty cool. We don't know what's going to happen, but yes, Flit is referring to the Canadian. The leaves are falling, and somebody's going to have to rake it all up.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know the Prime Minister of Canada just stepped down.
Yeah. Yep. I think he realized that. I mean, we don't have to get into that too much, but he realized that the soon-to-be president is right in that Canada can only survive with humongous tariffs and trade imbalances with the U.S. And as soon as it's like, no, we're gonna make it fair, Canada's screwed.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if their economy can handle that.
They rely on right now is China's money. So it's like between the two things, is like Canada is an empty vessel waiting to shatter under its own weight.
Mm-hmm. I hope you all enjoyed your free healthcare while it lasted, because it's not going to be much longer.
Into the syrup mines with all of you.
That's right. Yeah, I don't want to see no dark amber. We want the light stuff. Keep mining.
Yeah, Fizchoso says Squid Game comes off as a grander scale Saw. I don't know about that. There's definitely some Saw aspects in the death game thing, just because like later Saws had death games with multiple people. I would say it's probably just more like a smaller scale Hunger Games with that kind of like Saw death game aspect in it. But really, it's not death games outside of the few where you can directly kill someone. It's just like win this game or you die.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like Saw in that in Saw, they're playing deadly games where the contraptions kill you and are, almost guaranteed to kill you.
These are playtime games.
Yeah, these are very innocent games, and frankly, well, I mean, I don't know. It seemed like in the first season, it was typically about 50% of the people could get through them. In this one, it seems like more people are getting through them thanks to a slight change. In that, well, there's somebody in the games who's been there before, so he knows what to do. But sorry, I kicked something. So yeah, the games themselves are innocuous, but if you lose, basically they just shoot you. It's a lot less bloody than Saw.
Which is why I think it's a little closer to Hunger Games. Instead of being to calm the entire masses and there for the entertainment of the elites, it's just finding volunteers to die for the entertainment of some elites in a shadow organization.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of like a deadly version of Rat Race. Have you ever seen Rat Race?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so Rat Race was a comedy where a whole bunch of different groups of people were basically scouted by a bunch of rich people, and they had to find a locker on the other side of like the country. They had to go from like I don't remember the exact trip.
Oh, wait, I think I've seen this.
Yeah, it's a great movie, right? But they're all trying to race each other to this train locker on the other part of the country, and they all take different routes, and there's all kinds of like stupid shit happening to them, and they're being monitored by these rich people that set it up the whole time. They're just like gambling addicts, but they're rich, so it doesn't matter, and they will bet what to them is chump change over literally everything, like who will be the first one to vomit on their airplane on their way to the final destination or stuff like that. Like they're just that we gamble about everything because that's our lifestyle. It kind of reminds me of that, except you don't actually get to see the elites that are holding the games.
See, I think I've tried to tell you about so when was that movie? When did that movie come out?
Rat Race? I don't know, it was like a 2000 or something. I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
It was definitely.
See, I think it was a potential. I don't know. I don't want to denigrate it, but rip off or maybe homage to Midnight Madness.
Yes, yeah, we've talked about that.
Yeah, which is sort of the scavenger hunt, cross-country scavenger hunt movie from 1980. That was pretty good. They actually apparently had Michael J. Fox in it. Okay. Yeah, I'd highly recommend Midnight Madness if you like that movie.
Yeah. Well, and also like one of the elites. So like the characters in it or the actors are kind of what make the movie, which I'm sure is probably the case in Midnight Madness too. A lot of these comedies are usually made by the actual people in it, less about the writing. The kind of like host of the whole competition was played by John Cleese.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't remember. I'll have to watch it again. I don't remember if there were hosts or if anyone was in charge. It must have been somebody, but I just remember there was it had like Michael J. Fox and Paul Rubens and a bunch of other people that you'd recognize, but you're like, oh yeah, that guy. What was his name again? Basically that over and over. All these people that are familiar, but not exactly stars.
Yeah. I also just noticed we've been tiny this entire time. Let me fix that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fixed it.
That's a shame.
It's because I was full screen earlier, and I forgot to switch us back over to just us when you hopped on.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah. No, it's my fault. That's entirely my job. Like, I'm supposed to do that.
Well, I was fiddling with my computer. Flit, come fix my computer, please.
I don't know what Flit's going to do other than, like, when you're not looking, kill the install and just put, like, Arch Linux on it instead.
Well, I was watching... Oh, hey, Rick is in the chat. Says, hey, all. Cross Comics. I was watching a video, I guess, last night / this morning from Mudahar, who's like a total Linux, guy. And he's basically saying Steam needs to lead the charge to get Linux to the masses.
Well, I mean, they're already kind of doing the best they can with that.
Yeah. But they need to do like they need to do a version of their OS basically for like laptops for
Oh yeah. Well,
productivity and that kind of thing.
unless you make something where which just a lot of people defeats the purpose of Linux, but that's fine. I think that's why a lot of people liked Ubuntu for the longest time. Unless you make something that is functionally like a normal operating system install that like Windows or Mac, where they don't have to customize it or do any of the prep themselves, then like normal people aren't going to use it.
Yeah, well, that's what he's saying is that Steam has this layer that essentially lets you play any almost any Windows game.
Yeah.
On it that they need to do. Basically, use their OS to come up with a genuine, viable Windows replacement. So, I've tried Mint; it's pretty good, but I don't know.
Well, I know theirs is like a variation of Proton, right?
Steam OS? Yeah. I mean, they're basically doing the Proton development themselves at this point.
Yeah, they just need to make Steam machines, basically, which is something I wanted to do a long time ago for gaming. Was like, instead of getting a console or whatever, I just wanted to build a machine that its only function was media center in the living room, and it would be effectively a Steam machine.
Yeah. That would work. Flip says Steam is already leading the charge. They've partnered with Arch and are basically taking Wayland development from the insane weirdos who've been stalling development.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what Mudahar was talking about.
Well, it's like you're saying, like they're already doing the best they can. Like, if the best they're doing isn't enough, at this point it's probably just a matter of time, or it's just never going to be effective. I would like to believe it's a matter of time more than anything. I'd be hopeful on that.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't really care one way or the other. As long as like I can do work with it, and at this point, just about everything I do, like in Visual Studio, is kind of platform agnostic. Like it can run, everything I write can run on Linux just fine. And it can be compiled for ARM, and it's all like .NET 9 is basically totally cross-platform at this point, even mobile, even Spark mobile. So, yep.
Well, it looks like things are going good for Rick to some degree. He's actually renting a room now, and he's at least gotten on welfare temporarily while looking for a job. So I'm glad to hear things are going well for you.
Yeah. Well, I presume soon we will be living in the same country, apparently, as Rick, as soon as the U.S. annexes Canada.
Listen, if it doesn't happen during this presidency, I'm just saying, vote for me in the future. Manifest Destiny 2 is my actual platform.
You're gonna go from the Gulf to the Arctic Ocean this time?
Oh yeah. We might even go even further south after that.
Oh yeah, we got to go all the way down to Panama.
Yeah, we got to take Panama back. Like it's ridiculous what's going on there.
Yeah, and everything in between. We need to hopefully not. What? I've been told by credible sources that Canadians love the idea of being annexed.
Not if it means losing their free healthcare, apparently.
Yeah, you would lose all your welfare and your healthcare and everything. Yeah. But yeah, the only thing is we would need to shut down hedonism in the resort in Mexico, because
unless we specifically just turn Canada into like a welfare sanctuary state where we just send anybody who's sick there and then they can come back,
As long as we don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, no, only local taxes.
Yeah. basically, if you want to stay up there with your free healthcare, you can. Basically, be the 51st state, so it can be as crazy as California if they
like
want
if
to be.
California wanted to
I mean,
turn themselves into a heavier welfare state than they already have, if they want to do like free healthcare, they could, as long as it's only California taxes.
Yeah. The only caveat would have to be that if you wanted to move to any of the other 50 states,
You'd lose it.
I don't know. You'd have to give up your right to vote because we don't trust you to vote correctly. At that point. It's like there's a one-time deal. If you want to be, if you want to be able to vote in any other state, you have to give up your welfare and your free healthcare now. If you want to keep it, you can't come down here and ruin any of the other states.
See, look, Flint completely understands. He understands more than anyone. Canada has more fresh water than anywhere on Earth. Canada needs to be ours. That's like my whole mentality of Manifest Destiny, too. It's like, think of all the resources that are everywhere else.
Yeah, I bet they got a lot of oil that they're probably not tapping into as well.
Yeah.
We need to control the Arctic, so.
Well, that's why we want Greenland. Greenland is just filled with oil.
Yeah, that too. All right, forget it, Canada. We'll just have Greenland.
Yeah. So people don't understand. It's like going into space. Mars is just a stopping point. We should never actually care about Mars. There are resources on Mars, but they're hard to get worth it other than like the fresh water that is. And like, what are we gonna do? Transport fresh water? That's stupid. Across space, we want to transport minerals.
We got plenty of water,
right? Mars is a stopping point to get to the asteroid belt, where like a single asteroid has more nickel than the entire reserves of Earth. Like that's where we want to be. We want to be mining.
Yeah. Is there thorium in the asteroid belt? Is there, lithium or anything like that?
I don't know. There's gold, for sure. Like if people are still interested in gold, like that's been driving humanity forever. There's iron deposits, useful. There's cobalt. So there's all kinds of stuff up there.
Yeah. All we need is just more electricity. So we just need, like I said, thorium to generate it and lithium to store it. Should be good.
Well, we do need gold if we want to go to a higher stage society with computing, right? Because we actually need the gold for a lot of computing.
I guess so. But we're getting away from talking about series unless you don't have anything else to.
No, I've got other things to talk about, but I could go into sci-fi series where that's like their entire goal is to start fighting asteroids.
Yeah. I was worried you were going to say, moons of Jupiter, but I'm like, that's really far away.
No. We would stop at the asteroid belt for mining purposes before that. But if we were making spaceports everywhere, it wouldn't matter because we had this conversation and explained anything that we'd have to do to live on Mars, you could just live in a space station because Mars is toxic.
Yeah. Well, wasn't Buck Rogers, wasn't there asteroid mining involved in that?
Oh yeah, there was all kinds of things in Buck Rogers, but yeah, they were doing some asteroid mining.
Because it seems like in that show or universe, really mankind extended to the asteroid belt, and that was about it.
Sort of. I think we kind of expanded throughout our solar system, but didn't really make it out of it, and most of it was as far as the asteroid belt. But we also found out there were other people living in the solar system, like there were tiger men on Mars, which you should all be racist towards the Martian tiger men.
What about the cheetah men? Are they anywhere?
Not that I recall, other than being stuck in a game that you actually couldn't finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys want to talk about awful things now. Make fun of some awful things, because I love making fun of awful things. We've got 9 movie announcements for the MCU this year, and God, they just all sound so horrible, except for maybe, possibly one or two, but everything just sounds horrible. So we'll go through it. I think a couple of them we've already talked about because they were on the previous list of announcements, but some of these are new. Starting off the year with January 29th, we have your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, which I think is supposed to be animated. I'm not sure. It has like a cartoon image associated with it.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like it's
Yet another Peter Parker in high school. It's like, have we not seen that? I mean, talk about Fizchozo being sick of things he's seen a million times. Jeez. Really? Okay.
Yeah.
No, the problem is stupid Marvel was like, well, he can't ever be married. And it's like, did you figure out he was married for 20 years in the comics?
I think Marvel, or like the MCU, Marvel Studios specifically, they have this issue where they're trying to do chronological storytelling. And I think after Endgame, chronological storytelling just doesn't matter anymore. Like, I think you could just tell things in any order, just cast a character. We found a story in the comics we want to adapt. We think we could flesh it out, add some stuff, make it a full movie. And it doesn't really matter where in the timeline it happens, just adapt the story and that would be fine.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I wish they would get into, I mean, it seems like they're blocking themselves off from a lot of stories that happened when, Peter gets married to Mary Jane and they were happily married for 20 years. Like,
oh yeah, basically
every
that's
story basically
from 87 to 2007.
That was the range. Yeah. I mean, that was practically my entire, Spider-Man existence. Like, I didn't really, I didn't start watching, or I didn't start reading Spider-Man until I was, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
So it would have been 1987 to 89, somewhere around there. And then I stopped reading, I guess, shortly before One Last Day, or whatever it's called.
One More Day.
One More Day. So the entire time I actually was actively reading Spider-Man comics, he was married.
Yeah.
100% of the time. I mean, that's, the Venom came along during that time. And, one of my favorite Spider-Man villains. Totally retconned and ruined all of that stuff. I wish they would just...
I don't think we talked about this on the show, but there was a Sony exec who came out and said that they had the permission to use Tom Holland Spider-Man or Spider-Man at all the entire time that they were doing like all these Spider-Man villain anti-hero stories, but they were divorcing it from Spider-Man. And apparently, like, the studio just thought it would be better to not have these characters involved with Spider-Man at all. Like, it wasn't the MCU that stopped them or anything. It was just Sony Pictures.
They totally could have used Spider-Man. Like, did they have to cast Tom Holland?
I mean, I guess they didn't have to. They just could have used Spider-Man in general. They could have attached it to the Andrew Garfield universe. They could have attached it to Tobey Maguire. They could have just casted a new person as Spider-Man and had it completely divorced of everything. And they just decided, yeah, no, we're just not going to use Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because somebody on their board of directors or whatever is a fucking idiot.
Yeah. I don't... Okay. So, Cross Comics, Rick said Venom was before he was married. Okay. So, the symbiote was originally introduced as the living costume, alien costume, in May 1984, but the first full appearance of Venom wasn't until May 1988, a year after Peter Parker got married. So, You're sort of right, sort of, you know,
It depends what you define as
semi-right.
Venom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yep.
but that's a good addition there. I actually didn't realize that he was around earlier than I thought.
Yeah. Well, I think like what was it? The first time you see black suit Spider-Man wasn't even with the living costume or whatever like that. That was a way to explain it later. It was actually in Secret Wars, and then they added in why he had that costume afterwards. I think that's the case.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and it didn't. He had that for a while. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think Venom came along. You know, basically when he finally realized that it was like not. It was more of a parasite than a symbiote, and so he had to rip it off, and that's when Venom was sort of fully born as a separate character. And yeah, that was shortly after he got married. Probably had to break up with his former girlfriend, the Venom symbiote.
Well, then we have the next awful thing, which this one we've talked about before, and that's Captain America: Brave New World is February 14th. I have no idea why they're making Captain America movies still, with the passed on Falcon Cap, and there's the Red Hulk is going to be in it. I don't think it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Nothing against the actors involved, you know. For the most part, they're just doing their job. I actually kind of liked with an Anthony Mackie as Falcon. It's the same problem with the comic. It's like once the Falcon's actually started being recognized as his own superhero, we kind of have to shoehorn him into somebody else's role and kind of like, why? He was already a hero in his own right. Why has he got to be Captain America?
And I mean, I guess there was some period of time when he took on the mantle or whatever in the comics, but it wasn't until after Bucky was Captain America for a while.
Oh,
right?
no, it was a very, very recent thing that happened.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about like
I don't
already
know.
as comics are starting to go bad. Recent thing.
Oh, okay. So yeah. Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
We have to have the movies go just as badly as the comics.
Yeah.
Required, apparently.
So here's another one that this is the one where I'm like, it could go either way, but given what I've heard about it, I'm guessing it's going to be bad. And it is Daredevil Born Again. It is going to be with the Netflix Daredevil, with what's his name, Corey Baldwin, I think, the dude from Stardust. Yeah, so he's going to be playing it. I think it's going to be the same suit. I think it's actually tying into the MCU from what I've heard, but it's got to be slightly more downrated. And I just don't think it's going to be good because it's not going to have the writers from the Daredevil show. So, and not that like season 3 of Daredevil was that good to begin with, like where we left off with Daredevil.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, is it okay? It is going to be a television series.
Yeah, some of these are television series. They're just all lumped in with movie announcements.
Yeah, is Charlie Cox?
No, Charlie Cox. That's his name. I don't know why I said Corey Baldwin. Thinking of somebody else. Charlie Cox. That's the action star. Yeah, my brain completely went a different direction there. But Charlie Cox, the dude from Stardust.
Yeah, he's still going to be in it.
Yeah, I think he's playing Daredevil. His face is on the poster, so.
Yeah. Yeah, funnily enough, I liked both Iron Fist and the what was the name of the group? Not the
Defenders.
The Defenders. I like the Defenders series better than most people, I think. So I'll be looking forward to it, but I hope that it's good.
Mm-hmm.
When is it coming out?
March 4th.
Oh, this year.
Yeah. These are all this year.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. After that is the Thunderbolts for May 6th.
Mm-hmm.
That one's also just looking at the poster. Looks really, really bad.
Yeah.
And even
We're,
seeing like I think I saw a teaser trailer for it, and it looked like a Borderlands opening the way they were introducing all the characters, and uh, it was hard to even recognize some of them because they have some characters that just look the same
yeah.
because they've watered down everybody's suits. So there's like the female taskmasters in it and stuff like that. I'm like, why?
Um,
Why is this group even here? This is just going to be a horrible, horrible movie.
I mean, it feels like they're like, hey, look, DC did two Suicide Squad movies that were terrible, and I presumably both lost money. I'm not sure about the second one, but let's do that. Let's do a terrible movie that loses money.
This does kind of look like their Suicide Squad in a way, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, do you really think you can do a better job of the flawed concept in the first place?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I think you might have been one of them. I heard from a lot of people good things about the second Suicide Squad that kind of rebooted it.
it's better than the first.
I'm still never gonna watch it just because like the first one had ruined any idea of it, and I'm also like
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan of the Suicide Squad from the comics originally. So it's like I don't really care how good the movie is. But yeah, this looks awful.
Well, I'll tell you the worst parts of the second one were the parts with Harley. Is
Yeah, 'cause
that
they've
like,
completely ruined that character.
I know. I'm like, she's like going around, and what could have been a really cool epic scene where she's, killing all these guards and stuff all over the place, but like every time she slashes someone, like all these flowers come out,
Yeah.
and it's with weird music playing, and I'm like, this really could have been a cool scene. They kind of screwed it up. Like, I thought ruined it.
Well, it is only like a
Little
soft
weird.
reboot too, right? Because there's a middle movie in between both Suicide Squad movies that kind of make them canon to each other, but they're just kind of asking you to forget it. And that was the Birds of Prey and the
Yeah, I can see that.
what's it called? The Emancipation of One Fantabulous Harley Quinn. It's got some stupid long
Yeah.
title to it.
I think they changed the name to just Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
But I remember during the initial like trailers and teasers and stuff where it had that like really long title, which I'm not against really
Yeah.
long titles, but it just really wasn't fitting for the type of movie that they were trying to do.
Yeah, it's the LOL so random thing.
Yeah.
Flip asks, who are these movies for? Do normies even know who the Thunderbolts are?
No.
Well, no, I had never even heard of them, but I know all the characters because it's like a couple of them are from the Black Widow movie, I think, and
Some of these people aren't even actually Thunderbolts, but that's just how these Marvel movies are.
yeah. I'm guessing they're like, hey, nobody knew who Guardians of the Galaxy was, but
Yeah.
I don't. It's kind of like the old, I knew the Guardians of the Galaxy. I worked with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
You're no Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, it was a similar situation too, where
Thunderbolts.
it's like some of these guys were never Guardians of the Galaxy before this, but
Yeah. Which I didn't know them either, and I love that
yeah.
first movie. That was great. But I don't know. Thunderbolts, it seems like it would work better as a series or something. Wasn't there a TV show called The Thunderbolts that had nothing to do with the MCU?
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe it was slightly different.
It would have been a
Yeah.
better series because you could go a little comedic with it. They should have did Alpha Flight. I think Alpha Flight would be better than Thunderbolts.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, it was like a Nickelodeon show.
Yeah, Defenders also had no Defenders on it. Like they use all these titles, but like none of them actually are the people. It's like, where's Hulk? Where's Ben Grimm? Where's Brunhilde? Like where are the actual Defenders? You know?
Yeah. No, it's called The Thundermans. The 2013 sitcom in 2013. Sorry, I said 2013 sitcom that had 4 seasons on Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should do a Thundermans movie, not a Thunderbolts movie. Definitely. and directed by Dan Snyder.
Oh yeah, sure. Somebody that nobody will ever work with again.
That would be fantastic. Yeah. I'd sooner watch that.
Yeah.
I think.
Then probably the worst of all the things they've announced is after that, June 24th, we have Ironheart. Oh boy, who on earth is ever gonna watch an Ironheart movie? Like, I know they introduced her in like Wakanda Forever, I think, the actress that's gonna be playing her and everything. But it's like, why? Like, no person on earth has an actual attachment to Riri Williams. Like, this movie, I would just imagine is gonna flop extremely hard.
Alpha Flight would be cool, Rick.
Listen, no, that's not to make fun of Canada. Alpha Flight's one of the few things I actually like about Canada, okay?
Yeah, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even remember. Oh, maybe because I didn't see that movie. That's why I didn't watch Wakanda Forever. That looked just as bad as Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, I really like what they did, and it's probably more the actress than anything. Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
It was kind of really adorable because I saw the Marvels, that movie, and she was the best thing about the movie. Like the other two, I could take or leave, but she was cute, and in a cute little kid way. I think they somehow made that character much better than she ever was in the comics.
Rick says, I think Ironheart is a TV series. If it is, I mean, dealing with an Iron Man-like character in a TV series does seem like it would be higher budget than just making a movie for one. I mean, obviously you'd be cutting the budget here and there, but like overall you'd be spending more money than just making a movie.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. Yeah, it says Ironheart is an upcoming American TV miniseries on Disney Plus, so can't wait to not watch that.
Yeah.
I don't have Disney Plus.
I think I actually agree with Fizjozo here because normally I don't want Taika Waititi like touching anything that's not his own original property because I think he can make good, funny movies when it's his original property. But Great Lakes Avengers was always supposed to be kind of a dumb, stupid comedy anyway, with like heroes that are comedies. I think you could give Taika a Great Lake Avengers like movie or a series. I mean, we'd actually get Squirrel Girl in the MCU that way, and have all kinds of fun stuff like that. That's probably like the only thing I would let the guy touch.
Yeah. Well, thank goodness they're not doing an Ironheart movie. That would be awful. I don't think she could carry a movie.
I don't think she can carry anything, but I don't know. Sometimes it seems like these series, which honestly couldn't be, but jokingly sound like they're tax write-offs. It's like they're just going there to burn money somehow. Like they know they're going to be losing money on these TV series.
Yeah, you got to wonder if it's like some kind of money laundering scheme or something.
I always do.
Don't understand, but yeah, I mean the character itself is just not.
Yeah.
Can't make a movie out of that.
Yep, and then the next thing after that is going to be Fantastic Four. Oh, I don't know if it's a movie. It says Marvel Studios. Everything's Marvel Studios. It could be TV series. I'm expecting it to be a movie. The Fantastic Four First Steps.
Yeah, it is a movie.
Yeah, July 25th. That's another one where I think that one could possibly swing either way. Like there's a chance it could be entertaining. I mean, the bar's really low after the last Fantastic Four movie that was made. Like the bar's basically in hell for the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, but it's a shame because like
it's Marvel's family.
I liked the first, like the one that they did with like. What was Chiklis? That guy who played?
Yeah, Michael Chiklis. Yeah,
Michael Chiklis.
Yeah, the first Fantastic Four movies that were made back in like the late 90s, early aughts. I think
Yeah.
it was like right after the X-Men movies.
And the the guy who played Johnny Storm, who
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, who reprised his role beautifully in Deadpool and Wolverine. Thought that was
Well, I
hilarious.
actually thought the best person in that entire series between the two movies that were made was Julian McMahon as Dr. Victor Von Doom.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand why they let him go in the second one, just because he said he could capture the Silver Surfer. It's like, yeah, but he killed a bunch of people and he's got dangerous superpowers.
Yeah.
And somehow the Silver Surfer like healed him, like because of magic. I don't know. Well, there's Rick says something. No Doom in
Yeah, no, because Doom's not going to be in
Fantastic Four?
Fantastic Four. He's going to be in the next Avengers movie. They're introducing him to the
Oh.
MCU through a different movie.
I see. Well, yeah, that's gonna be weird though. Aren't they gonna be like?
And it's
He
Robert
looks a
Downey
lot
Jr.
like. Yeah, he looks a lot like Tony Stark. Like, what's up with that? Could be interesting. Who is in the background of this picture of the Fantastic Four?
Which one?
I don't know. It's like this sort of semi-drawn like picture of them.
I only
For
have
the
the
upcoming
movie poster
movie.
version, which only has Reed and Sue on it. I don't know if there's like a bigger version
Oh.
that has other characters.
Yeah, there is, but I don't know. I don't know who's in the background here. If I can find it. Save image. Well, I can post it to the Discord. Maybe we can
Yeah.
talk about it later.
Oh, meaning you don't want Doom in a Fantastic Four movie? Why? I mean, I don't want Robert Downey Jr. as Doom at all, but I guess it's just because he's been overdone at this point. They want to explore other things, but
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, maybe not the first one. Explore something else, but like, I definitely want the Fantastic Four fighting Doom. Like, that's honestly the only thing I want to see from the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, Doom is too vain to remove his helmet.
How do I? This was the. If I can share this real quick. This is sort of the movie poster. How do I? Click the make selection. They changed all this. Okay. What? Make selection. Then choose a window, application, or screen to go live. Oh my god.
You having difficulty over there?
I don't know how to. Okay, there.
Okay, let me fix this. If it,
Did that work?
oh, here's the full picture. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, who's this guy in the background? Is that supposed to be Johnny Storm? I don't know.
Well, Johnny's in the middle there.
I know. So, oh, maybe that's Doctor Doom. I don't know.
Maybe. Maybe they could be
Maybe.
showing off Ben before he became the Thing.
Oh, maybe. But anyway, yeah. What do you think about what's his name? What's that
Pedro
guy's
Pascal.
name? Yeah. I mean, I think he'd be good. I just don't.
He's a good
I
actor.
despise him as a person, but yeah.
I don't know if he has quite the look for Reed Richards, but he looks close enough that it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Is he gonna have an accent, or is he gonna?
I don't know.
All right. Enough of that. Wait, am I still showing?
Fizz asked, can I come on to discuss the topic? It seems pretty slow so far. No, you may not.
Pretty slow.
Yeah.
Salty. Just kidding.
Yeah. Rick says eventually Doom and FF movie, but with an origin not timed to them. Well, I don't think they're not tying the origin to them now anyway, so I guess you're going to get that.
Yeah, Rick was saying the guy in the picture frame in the picture. Yeah, that's what we're wondering. Who is that? Don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, next.
Next, looks like it might be another animated series because it says animation, unless they do an animated movie, but I think it's going to be a series. Eyes of Wakanda comes out August 6th, which I think if you're going to do anything with Black Panther is the only thing they're going to let you do, because for some reason they won't let you recast him in a live action role. I think that's ridiculous. Just because the actor who played him died. It's like the Black Panther existed in comics for like more than a generation before that guy was even born. So
yeah, I mean, how many freaking James Bonds have there been?
Yeah, how many Spider-Man have we now? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, they're going to be doing that in animated form. I'm not totally against that though. I think a lot of this stuff should just be done animated anyway. I don't think we need these big live action movies for every story. I think, especially with how dynamic comics should be, sometimes you could just do it better with animation. Assuming they actually make the animation dynamic. A lot of these are really stiff 3D animated things that are compressed to look like a little more 2D. I don't enjoy the animation style that they choose for most of this shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't. Are people really thinking that, like, oh, if we recast this character, that's some sort of slight to Chadwick Boseman?
I think it was at first. I don't know if people still have that opinion, but that was definitely stuff I heard people saying around the time that he died. Because, there are just crazy fanatics out there.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be that actors saying was the show must go on, right? I mean,
yeah.
Seems a little bit.
Where's his understudy?
Yeah, it seems rather disrespectful to not allow it to go on.
Yeah. And if his shows even brings up, Chadwick actually wanted the character to go on. I'm sure he would. I mean, that's how actors are, but...
Yeah.
Flit says, I think Metal was talking about that terrible What If series. I fucking hate that What If series. Not just the writing, but just everything about it. I think the acting in it tends to be even subpar, even when it comes from the same people who played the characters on the movies. The animation is just awful. And every story they do just keeps getting worse and worse. There's no point in watching What If. That and also it's on Disney Plus. So why would you watch anything on Disney Plus?
Apparently, he played a character called Star-Lord T'Challa. Did he play a cross between the two or something? What if T'Challa became a Star-Lord?
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah.
That horrible What If series.
Yeah. What if Captain Marvel never existed?
What if the MCU never got started? That would be a good one.
I don't know. That would be terrible.
The worst part, too, is like, Fish Joseph says, what if it's even based on interesting concepts? Yeah, it is more multiverse shenanigans, but I think the problem is that it comes into a world that already has multiverse, right? What if in the comics used to be cool because there wasn't necessarily this big extended multiverse at first. So it was like a bunch of just stupid, crazy ideas. And not once do I think a single episode ever adapted a What If from the comics.
Well, I saw that there was something about the Marvel Zombies.
Yeah, that's the next one, October 3rd. An adaptation of
Yeah.
probably my least favorite arc in all of Marvel. I might even hate it more than Civil War. Uh, Marvel Zombies is awful, but at least it was always kind of like its own universe thing, so I didn't have
Yeah.
to engage in it. I just hated it because
Yeah.
like it wasn't good, and all my friends liked it, and they kept talking about it. I'm like, please don't ask me about Marvel Zombies. I think this is stupid. But they just kept shoving
Yeah.
it in my face anyway. If I didn't have to deal with it, I probably wouldn't hate it so much.
And that's basically a spin-off of the What If series.
Yeah, pretty
Right?
much.
I really think that they should. Well, I mean, I don't know if they should, but it would be cool if they were good writers who would do a Blackest Night
Over a
series, or series of movies. Like they could have that could have been their Infinity War, arc or something.
Yeah, Marvel Zombies basically exist because of things like The Walking Dead and their popularity. Zombies were just like all the rage during like the mid-aughts.
Yeah.
That was just like the trend. And in Marvel Zombies, it makes no fucking sense how certain people become zombies. Like there are characters that should just be outright immune to becoming a zombie that become zombies. Like it makes no sense that the Incredible Hulk could ever become a zombie, whether it's biological, whether it's magical, or whatnot. Doesn't matter. Like he should just be immune to being a zombie because of the way the Incredible Hulk works.
I guess. I mean, if it's magic, can it be anything?
Well, I mean, except they've established that the Incredible Hulk, due to his nature and his soul, he's basically resistant to magic. And the stronger he gets, the more resistant to magic he is. So it's like, no, the magic doesn't work as a solution to that either. Or even if he was temporarily, he would heal from it. Like that's just how the Hulk works. It's dumb, but that's how his character's been for a really long time.
Well, I don't know. I never read the Marvel Zone. It looks like from the cover, it looks like what's it, the Lou Ferrigno Hulk?
Yeah.
Frankly, it's kind of small.
Like there were tons of characters that it just made no sense why they were zombies. I'm like,
yeah.
But you know what? That might not actually be the worst thing on the whole list, though. Actually, I think Ironheart's probably the worst thing on the whole list. We already covered that. But something that's getting up there, right, was Wonder Man in December. Doesn't have a date yet, just December. And like many things, this one says Marvel Television, so it does look like it's going to be a television, like a Disney Plus series or whatever. They decided that they were going to race swap Wonder Man to be black. Which I find kind of hilarious because Nathan Fillion for years has been saying that he actually wants to play Wonder Man. He wanted to play Wonder Man like back in phase 2 of the MCU. And they finally do a Wonder Man thing, and it's like, no, we're just another race swap, why not?
Yeah. He's just two for
I don't know what suing
or discrimination.
It's not like he actually had a contract or anything.
Yeah, well, he would have been good.
Yeah. But yeah, so this year looks to be possibly the worst year yet for Marvel, and we thought it was only ever going to go downhill. And it does look to, in fact, be going downhill.
Yeah. I mean, again, this is gonna be a movie?
No, that one's going to be a series on Disney Plus.
Okay. Yeah.
I agree.
I was gonna say if it was.
I don't think Wolverine should be able to become a zombie either. That's another one that made no sense.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say you thought Wolverine should be race swapped.
No, I don't think any character should be race swapped.
Now, what about Shang-Chi 2? That's apparently coming up. I don't know if it's this year.
Oh, I did not see that on the list, so even if they were
Must be
planning
next
this year,
year.
they don't have a scheduled like date or release window yet.
Hmm. Okay. Well, yeah, that all sounds terrible.
I know. But even if you put Zhang Xingqiu in there, that also sounds terrible. Like the first one was pretty awful.
Yeah. Well, although I am looking forward to Daredevil, just to
I will give that one a
see
chance.
how it is.
Possibly.
Oh, wait.
If I don't have to watch it on Disney Plus, I might
Is
just.
that going to be on Disney Plus?
I think it is. I don't think it's going to be on Netflix.
Damn it! That's not fair. It used to be on Netflix.
There are other ways of watching it.
I know. I know. Oh, well.
When are we getting movies based on Nova and Sleepwalker? Not any of this stuff. I have no clue. I thought they were going to start making something for like Nova or the Nova Corps after they were introduced in Guardians of the Galaxy, and they're just like, nah, we're good.
Is Nova a person?
Yeah, Nova is part
Single
of the
person?
Nova Corps, or we just call the main character that we see Nova. It's kind of like similar to having like a Green Lantern Corps in the MCU, but its powers don't work the same.
Yeah.
The Nova Corps often are fighting against like the more aggressive Kree, but they do a bunch of different things. That's why they were fighting the Kree or not the Kree, but like a group, a faction of them in Guardians of the Galaxy. But Nova has been like a landed Earth hero for a very long time. Never introduced into the MCU outside of there is the Nova Corps in Guardians of the Galaxy. That was it.
Yeah. So is Nova this guy with a big star in his face, or?
Yeah, with the helmet.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Or they all have those helmets with the stars on
Yeah,
their
yeah.
face.
The helmet's actually kind of like their Green Lantern ring, more or less.
Oh, okay.
Is that their powers work differently, but when Fizzoso says Nova is just Marvel's Green Lantern, I mean the Nova Corps is basically the Lantern Corps. Like they're basically the same thing.
Okay. So there's no single character called Nova.
There was. It was introduced as Nova on Earth, but then you find out that there are more than one member to his whole like faction or army he's from.
Okay. Is he the leader? Is he this? Or he's just one of many?
That's the most detail that I can tell you about it.
Yeah.
I never really read much of like Nova standalone comics. More of my interactions is when he's like doing stuff with other people.
Okay. So it looks like, I'm just reading the wiki. It says there's a leader named Centurion Nova Prime. And okay, whatever.
Which the leader of
I don't care.
the Nova Corps in Guardians was actually played by Cruella de Vil.
Yeah. I guess so.
Yeah. Let's see.
But,
Rick asks, what about a Night Thrasher movie TV series? I mean, it could be cool if it was done with the right person, but I don't think MCU's ever going to do that at all. Joshua says Nova's really cool. Actually, I do think Nova's cool. It just was never cool enough for me to invest time into reading his standalone stuff.
So, yeah, apparently the entire Nova Corps was wiped out. And Zendar was laid to waste in the Annihilation Wave.
Yeah, but you know what? That
Whatever
has not
that is.
happened in the MCU, so they could do anything they want.
But I thought Thanos pretty much wiped them out. Did he not?
No, I don't think so. Did he?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I imagine that there was probably a lot of destruction in his wake when he went to get the whatever stone they had.
Maybe.
I don't know. Doesn't matter. I don't care.
Damn. Yeah, it's hard to actually care about like what they'll do with the MCU at all because like I've just burnt from it. The same thing that
Yeah.
happened with the comics, they've done with the movies. So like, aside from making fun of them, I don't really care what's happening with Marvel at all.
Hmm. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Wow, there's different ranks. There's the Centurion, the Denarian, the Millennian, and the Corpsman. There's a whole military thing about
Yeah.
the Nova Corps.
Coming from like
But-
Roman military stances about like
Yeah.
how many people are underneath you.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, wait, here it is. Wait, Marvel's Nova 2026 first trailer? Finn Wolfhard? No, that can't be right. That can't be true. The kid from Ghostbusters? No.
That would be awful.
It looks like Ready Player One sort of, or was that the what was the movie about the kids that were training in space?
Ender's Game?
Ender's Game. Yeah, it looks like
Which
Ender's
the
Game.
movie wasn't very good, but I love the book. That book's a classic.
Yeah. Wolfhard, please.
Yeah, no, that's fake. That's gotta be fake.
Yeah, I think so. Might. Unless it's not, I don't know. You heard it here first.
Hopefully you heard it here last. Yeah, no, I don't really have anything else. That was it. We've hit to the end. But we're also at the end of the show anyway. Like, we've got 3 minutes left. It's saying this was going slow.
Yeah.
We filled up the entire time. What are you talking about? That's how the program's supposed to work. This show is scheduled for an hour and a half every single time. It's just
You got it perfect.
we're awful and often go over. We're so awful, we often give you like 15 minutes of extra content.
That's right. Oh yeah, this is a mashup of Ghostbusters and Guardians of the Galaxy, and it looks terrible.
Yeah, the real Nova has powers. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're the ones in the MCU. They just have like tech, like guns and stuff. Like the real Nova can fly around and everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, did you want to talk about the remaster of Jurassic Park?
Oh, yeah, but it's not a
The fan
remaster.
made.
It was just a scene, but I don't know at this point. Because he said I don't have a T-Rex model yet. He might end up just doing a full re-edit of Jurassic Park over the next few years. I don't know, but there was it was something Coolio Arts or something. I can't remember the name. There was a dude who spent some time basically making more scientifically accurate models of the raptors, which should be Deinonychus and or Deinonychus, and he just kind of like cropped them over the original ones, doing some compositing to get rid of anything that might have kind of like splattered over or cut through. And you just have it. It looks actually, I was saying the raptors that he made look like they fit the environment of the movie a lot more than the actual ones of the time. And of course, you've got better technology than back then, but he faded it. It looks nostalgic. It fits like the camera and the film that the movie was made in, and it looks really, really good.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was watching it. The anatomically correct raptors looked perfect to me. Or the ones with the feathers and thinner faces and everything.
Yeah, they're called velociraptors for no reason. Like, velociraptor is like the size of a turkey. Yeah, they're only like this big.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park actually aren't that inaccurate. Maybe they could use some plumage, maybe some fur-like feathers here and there, but something like the T-Rex, like from imprints and stuff, we know that they would have been mostly scaly. Maybe, again, you could still probably add some plumage, some like furry little tiny feathers bristling along its spine or whatever, but The smaller ones, for a fact, we know should have been just like covered in feathers, like most of the
Yeah.
raptors that we've seen.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, hey, Joshua's here. I didn't notice.
Yeah, he's been here. He's been here for a while.
He was the one who was saying
Yeah.
the real Nova has powers. Okay.
Yeah.
So wonders what they would taste like. Well, I guess a cross between lizard meat and chicken. I don't know.
I don't. The thing is, like, meat doesn't inherently necessarily have a taste based on the animal. It is more about like the size and purpose of the muscle, right? It's kind of like if you ever had alligator. Alligator tastes closer to red meat, but like smaller reptiles taste closer to white meat. And you even kind of have the same thing with fish too, right? Like small fish are very, very white meat, but then you get bigger fish like a tuna, and that's like red meat. So I would figure most large dinosaurs would be very, very red meatish just because of the purpose of the muscle that you're eating.
I don't know. I've had frogs' legs before, and they did not taste like chicken.
No, they don't. Which I actually kind of like frogs' legs. I didn't try them for the longest time because everybody told me it was going to taste like chicken, and it was that they made me not want to try the frog's legs.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't taste at all like chicken.
The thing is, some of these dinosaurs are so
vaguely.
big, they might have a different taste than what we're used to, right? Because it would still be red meat, but like these muscles would have to be bigger and denser and be like, I don't know. I've never had whale meat, but some of it might be more akin to like, or like elephant meat, right? Just from the sheer size. I don't know how elephant meat tastes.
Me neither. I mean, cows are pretty big, so. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, cows aren't anywhere near as big as like a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Like maybe a raptor, because of weight, might be close in size to like a buck, like a male deer, because they'd probably be close in weight, like not quite our cows, but like bigger than a doe, which I've had venison, so maybe it's like that, which is very close to cow. It is. If you eat a lot of it, you can tell the difference, but like most people, if you just give them venison, they can't tell the difference between that and beef.
Yeah, that and like buffalo and ostrich meat apparently supposedly tastes like beef. Interestingly.
Yeah, but like something that's that big, like a T-Rex, a lot of their meat might get so dark that it's like it's still red, but it's like on the verge of turning purple almost, right? Actually, no, I've had meat like that. I think it was like bison or whatever. I've like the larger bison. They have like nearly purple meat.
Yeah, very dark.
Yeah, that's probably closer to what some of these dinosaurs would probably be like.
I bet it's good if it's anything like bison.
Oh yeah,
probably pretty good. Felt like there was something else. Oh yeah.
I was gonna say,
Are we wrapping up?
Hungry, and we have food in there, and now we're talking about eating things is making me want to end the show. So I start cooking food.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to encourage everyone after the show. We can't raid, can we? So you have to be. I don't think I know how to do that, but
we could. Well, not on YouTube. I think on YouTube you have to be.
Yeah.
But like, and on Twitch anybody can raid if you were thinking of a Twitch person. But if it's YouTube, no, we don't. We have to be monetized to raid.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna put a link in the chat to Lady Ali Sangui's first live stream, I think, of the new year, building world's weaponry with what's her name? Rennie. With Rennie.
Okay.
Former Marvel artist. That looks very interesting. So yeah, I'd encourage people to go over there after the show, which is ending right now. So check it out.
Okay, yeah. So thank you guys for coming. If you enjoyed the show, please share it out. Get more people in here. We'll have a good time. Pretty much on schedule. We haven't missed most of our shows. It's Mondays and Thursdays at 9 Central. You can convert that into whatever time zone you want. 9 p.m. Central specifically. We're not in the morning. And if you really enjoy the show, consider giving a donation to streamlabs.com/vomitoriumlive. Really helps us out. And we'll see you guys on Thursday.
See ya.